Welcome to Face the State. I'm Arianna Bennett. Thank you for joining us. It's a milestone that most nonprofits can't boast about. 40 years helping people in our community. But the Children's Cabinet is celebrating 4 decades of service this year. So Children's Cabinet CEO Kim Young is here with me to talk about that. Kim, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, it's my pleasure. All right, so to start, for those who aren't familiar with the Children's Cabinet and all that it does, can you give us a quick rundown?
Yeah, absolutely. So we are a large organization. We've been around for a long time, as you said, and really dedicated to children and families and the issues that they face and how we can provide services that support them. So as an organization, we have more than 40 different programs. And so that's where our mission statement of keeping children safe and families together really comes into play. We really hone in on the needs and the gaps in the community and then design programs to meet those gaps and meet families where they're at.
Yeah, it really is a wide range under your umbrella, from parenting classes and family counseling all the way to physical needs like an on-site food pantry and even monetary help, people paying for childcare, which I imagine has to be a very popular program.
Absolutely. And you know, we talk a lot about wraparound services, and what that means for us is all of the services and all of the essentials that you can wrap around a family to get them to a place of self-sufficiency and create those supports so that they know that if the Children's Cabinet isn't the answer, what else is in the community that can be the resource that they need to get their needs met. So we work with families of all ages and stages. Their kids can be young, or they can be in their teenage years, or they might be young adults themselves starting workforce training. And so a lot of programs to address a variety of needs.
So who is a typical family that you might see needing help?
So we really are open to anybody. We pride ourselves on being barrier-free, but just as an example, a family might come to us and need childcare subsidy assistance. And at that point, we really want to get to know them a little bit, because if they are needing childcare subsidy assistance, they might have other needs as well. And so we want to talk to them about what are their housing needs, what are their food needs, kind of try to get a really comprehensive understanding of the family. Do they have medical care? Do they have access to mental health services if that's what they need? Just to really braid those services around them so that we get them again to that self-sufficiency place.
Is there an income requirement for taking part in your services?
The only program that has an income requirement is childcare subsidy, because we are the state, we partner with the state of Nevada, and that's all based on financial need. But all of the rest of our services are free and accessible to anyone in the community.
Okay, I think it's pretty cool that you offer parenting classes. And are there a lot of takers, a lot of people who are just thinking, I don't know what I'm doing, I could use a little help?
Yeah, it's hard. And we say it all the time, they don't come with an instruction book.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing that's really challenging is your 2-year-old's needs are very different than when you have a 7-year-old and when you have a 12-year-old. And so our parenting classes, we have a really robust calendar of offerings and classes that meet all those different ages and stages. And so, yeah, really popular. We'll typically have maybe 20 parents in any given class, and learning just some of the basics and the tips and tricks, and then also just that connection that you get with other parents that are in the room with you. You've got a facilitator that's presenting the curriculum, but then you have a connection that you make with another parent, and you go, oh, I'm dealing with that too. What did you do? And so some of those organic stories are really helpful too.
Very validating, I think. I've had that experience a few times, Googling something and being like, oh my gosh, 50 million other parents have Googled the same problem. I'm not alone.
Exactly. I've got it, and there's a resource for me. And so I want to get some help or get some support, and that's what we're there for.
Okay, and then another really cool thing that you offer that I want to mention real quick is the Safe Place. So this is for young people who need almost like a shelter option to go to if they're experiencing abuse or violence or something like that?
Exactly. It's called Safe Place. It's a 24/7 response. I think one of the really unique aspects of that program is that you talk to a case manager when you call that. And so if it's 2 a.m. and a young person calls Safe Place or texts the Safe Place line, they get a case manager who's trained to answer their questions. And the very first question we ask them, are you in a safe place? And then at that moment we dispatch and we go and we meet that person, the young person, where they're at. If they're at a McDonald's or they're at a particular point in the city, we go and meet with them and talk to them about what's going on to try to figure out how we can really get them back home. That's the best place for a young person usually, if there is a safe environment that we can tap into. And if there's not, or if they're afraid to go home, then we do have some emergency beds that we can also access in town. But we go into the schools, we talk to youth all year round about Safe Place and how to access it, and build relationships with our teens so that they feel like they have a number that they can call, and then we've got a Safe Place case manager that they can connect with. And then we do a lot of work with families to say, you know, your young person called us, and so maybe there's something going on. How can we help? What can we do? Is parenting classes or family counseling or any of these potential services that might help your family?
Okay, now speaking of things that might help families, you're putting on this Youth Mental Health Summit coming up in September. It's the 4th year you've done it. Why are you doing that?
Yeah, so September 23rd, we're so excited to have the 4th one. You know, the summit really started 4 years ago with an idea that seemed like people wanted to talk about youth mental health, and we think we were all seeing the stats, and we were seeing that we had depressed youth and we had suicidal youth, and we needed to have a conversation. And in order to have that conversation, you've got to get everybody in the same room at the same time. And whether you're a parent or you're a professional, this was a topic of interest. And so we put the first one together and thought, well, let's try this. And are we throwing a party and no one's going to come, or what's going to happen here? And it was through the roof. We had over 200 people the very first year. And so that showed us that there was definitely an interest in the community and there was a need in the community. And so we've continued to build on that each year. This year we'll be able to accept up to 400 people registering for the event. We have a pretty big space that we can have it in. And it's an opportunity for professionals to come together, and also just genuinely, really anybody in the community that has an interest in this topic and learning more about resources that we have, how they can help, how they can be a part of a youth getting the support they need, and just creating a community that cares.
Yeah. Okay, so again, that is September 23rd. It's an all-day thing. Any member of the public is welcome to register, and it's free, right?
It's free, yes. We even provide lunch. We have some great sponsors this year. We have Renown, we have Anthem, and we have CareSource that have all come in to help sponsor this event, which has made a big difference, and it allows us to get people there. We like being able to provide lunch because we have our captive audience, and we can just stay there and we can keep the work going and keep the networking pieces in place as well.
Very cool. Well, I hope you get a great turnout. We don't have a ton of time left, but just quickly, if people can't make this summit, you also offer some youth mental health first aid classes. Can you just quickly tell us what that's about and how people can take part in those?
Yeah, so all of this information is on our website, both for the summit and for youth mental health first aid. And we equate it to CPR. It's a skill that everybody needs, because even if you're at the grocery store, you might run into a young person that is having a crisis. And I think we all want to be equipped with the skills to know how to intervene if you see somebody that's struggling. And so that's what that does. It provides you with the skills. You don't have to solve the problem, but you can jump in and be confident in the information that you know to help that young person get the help that they need when they need it.
Okay, so again, all this information is on your website if people want to sign up for one of those, check out the summit or any of your other resources. We're almost out of time, so if people are watching this and they would like to help you, what's your message?
We love volunteers. We can use volunteers in a lot of our different programs, so opportunities there. We always need donations, and so financial assistance helps us keep our programming free to the community. So if there's a particular program that someone is interested in sponsoring or learning more about, we would love to provide a tour and show them what it's all about.
Okay, and once again, your website is?
www.childrenscabinet.org.
All right, Kim, thank you so much.
You.
I sure appreciate your time. Well, coming up on Face the State, if you've been putting off some healthcare appointments because maybe it's just too expensive, there is an organization in Northern Nevada that wants to help you. Learn about the Community Health Alliance after the break.